Hello again, and welcome to the seventh week of Disciples' History and Polity. This week we're going to start talking about the structure and polity of our church. And at first, I'd like to just give you a metaphor to work with, um, that being of a building of some sort, a house or a museum or a train station. And when you go into a building, you notice what's surrounding you. You notice the furniture, you notice the artwork, you notice the furnishings that whoever has designed the space has chosen to fill the rooms. But what you may not have noticed is the actual building itself. As you go through the door, the structure that holds up the building and allows these contents to be uh, cared for and kept out of the elements. Well, I'd like to suggest that what we've been talking about so far are those furnishings, but the building, the structure, is our polity. It is that which holds up the building or the furnishings that make up our denomination. And so let us start talking about what you probably encountered in your reading, the three expressions of our church. We used to call them manifestations, but the new word is now expressions, which I think is a much better choice, um, because that is how we express who we are in these three different ways. The first way being, of course, the congregational expression, the second way being the regional expression, and finally, the general expression. And we don't call it national because, of course, we are a binational denomination with churches in the United States and Canada. So we talk about the general church when it comes to speaking of the broadest expression of our church. But let's start at the congregational level. There are approximately 3,750, give or take a few, congregations in our denominations across the United States and Canada. And these congregations are autonomous to a degree. They can choose who is going to be their leadership. They can call or dismiss a pastor. They decide their own financial uh, ways and how they're going to manage their own money. But they are in covenant with the other expressions of the church and with each other, um, so that no congregation is a single item off spinning in its own orbit, um, but is connected through covenant with the other congregations and expressions of our church. The second expression and is the regional expression. There are 33 regions throughout our denomination. Um, Many of them cover a state or several states or provinces. Um, our particular region covers the northern half of California and the northern part of Nevada. We stretch from Sparks, Nevada, just outside of Reno, all the way over to the Pacific Ocean. We go up to Redding and Eureka, down to Pacific Grove, and then Porterville or Visalia in the south. So our 70 congregations or so are spread out across this geographic area. Um, and we are served by 12 staff people. Um, Of course, Ben Bourne is our regional minister. Paula Pashaha is our minister for congregational care and women's ministries. Shonda Jha is our minister for transformation and reconciliation. Molly Carlson is our minister for the New Church movement. Cliff Cole is minister for placement, training, and care. Daniel Kyung-Min Lee is minister of NAPAD Ministries. Yolanda Marquez Lucar, minister of Hispanic Ministries. Carl Cordes, director of Youth Ministries. Adam Bradley, director of Young Adult Ministries. Sue Tarleton, who staffs our annual meeting planning. And then in our office, we have Quan Walker, who is our administrative assistant, and Diane Silva, who is the bookkeeper for the region. Now, the region is going through a transition. Our old bylaws called for a general board, a regional board of directors, and an executive committee. Well, the regional board is being shrunk, and new entities are taking its place in the future as of our annual meeting this year. The region as a whole does meet once a year at an annual meeting where we transact our business and hear reports, and generally have a good time of fellowship, I've got to say. The region, of course, is important in supporting the work of the congregations, and this is how we are in covenant with each other. All of the staff that I just listed are available for any help that a congregation may need, and work in their specific areas to further the ministry of our region. Next week, we'll talk more about the general and ecumenical church. So I look forward to seeing you then.